welcome back to the studio. And thank you for joining me for another episode of Throwback Thursday. So, give me one second here. Just trying to get this to kind of come up on my laptop here and let me just fix things a little bit. Okie dokie. So, thank you again for joining me. Throwback Thursday is where I pull in my retired Stampin' Up stash and I create two projects using it. It could be an individual stamp set, it could be a bundle, it could be a whole suite. So for this Thursday, I'm pulling in the Baby Pull Toys stamp set. This is a standalone stamp set. There were no dies or a punch that went with it. What I like about this, you have your really thick lined images, and then you have some really cute little greetings that are in here as well. So we're going to jump right into working on the project. So let me show you, well, what else I'm going to be using with this as well. So that's particular stamp set, that was in the January, I believe it was January to June, I think at the time, or was it January to April? Maybe it was January to June. Hold on. I actually got the catalog kind of like opened up in PDF. Hold on, where if I can get to my PDF, I can tell you exactly what it said. It was it was indeed January to June 2021 mini catalog. And this product was also in that catalog as well. This designer series paper, this is the Ice Cream Corner designer series paper. Has some really cute designs in there. So I'm going to be using this green with these polka dots, and then also this colored stripe that's in here as well. So let me bring what I'm going to use for my first card. Really cute stamp set, and very shameful. This is the very first time that I'm actually putting ink to it other than creating the samples that I did. So this was one of those stamp sets that I think when it came towards the time where the catalog was going to retire, I believe this was one that I thought was cute, and I thought, let me get it before it's gone forever. So again, I got it. It got put away on the shelf with all the other ones and just never got used until now. So for my card, let me let you know what I got here. So for my card base, I have a piece of Balmy blue that measures 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. I have another piece of Balmy blue that measures 5 by 3 3/4. I have a piece of that Ice Cream Corner Designer Series paper that measures 4 by 2. Out of a scrap piece of basic white, I have die cut one of the stylish shaped squares. I believe that this may be the second to the largest size. It's a size that's going to have a nice border around the stamped image. The stylish shaped dies are a set of dies that are still currently available. And also out of those set of dies, this is Daffodil Delight. I stamped my greeting Love Just Got Real in crushed curry ink, and then I die cut it using one of those stylish shaped dies. So I'm going to start off, I'm going to fold and burnish my card base. Okay, and then, well, first what I'm going to do, I'm going to stamp my images first, only because I want the ink to dry, because I will be coloring with my blend. So let me put my ink there. I'm going to bring in my silicone craft sheet, and the reason why I'm bringing this in is so I can put my cardstock on top of it so I can see it a little bit easier as opposed to it being directly on this grid paper. I have my Memento Tuxedo Black ink. Basically, this is the craft white stamp pad. When you get it, it's uninked, and it comes with a re-inker bottle of the white pigment ink that you can ink in this. Because it's a foam pad, I had used my Memento Tuxedo Black ink refill, and I inked up this pad, and I find that the ink stamps so much nicer than it does on the felt pad that the original packaging is in. So for this one, I am going to stamp my lion. So I'm going to take this, put it on my block, and because I don't have the stickers on these, I am lining it up off of the base of the block. So that way, when I go to stamp it, if I have the base of my block straight, then my stamped image should be straight. Okay, I think that looks good. So I'm going to stamp this. Let's see, right about here. Okay, I'm going to set that aside because I want this ink to dry before I start coloring. Okay, and I'll move that out of the way, and then one of the things I'll do is I'll clean my stamp. So that's nice and clean. All right, so then on my piece of designer series paper, I'm going to use, this is, I don't have a label on this. This is the Banner Triple Punch. This is one that has long since retired, so you have some different widths here. The largest is 2 inches. So I'm going to take my designer series paper. I'm going to put this right here in this track, and I'm going to push it in. But instead of going all the way to the very edge, I'm going to just pull this back a little bit, and I want the very corners of the paper to line up with that punch. So this part here, if I had it up higher, it would be cutting more into that designer series paper. I just want to have a banner on the bottom, but I also want to have enough of this paper showing at the bottom because this is going to then go over on top of it. Okay, so we're done with the punch. Okay, so then on this piece of Balmy Blue, I'm going to pull in, there are a set of hearts, and I'm going to place those. Again, I don't have the sticker on it, so I'm going to kind of put this on straight based on the base of my block. And as long as I have that block straight, then my image should stamp straight. So let me get my Balmy Blue ink here. Okay, and then I am going to randomly stamp some of these hearts. I'm going to have this straight, so I'm going to stamp some here. Like so. Okay. Close that up. And let me clean that again. I'm just taking a little bit of time to let that stamped image dry. So I'll do little things to get things done. All right. So then I'm going to take this banner And I'm going to bring in my seal, add some adhesive to the back here. And then I'm going to attach this, have it flush up to the top. And get that straight. And then just press that down. Okay, and then I'm going to take, let's see, I'm just going to set that aside because now we're going to color this image in. I'm going to bring in a piece of scrap paper so that way when I use my blends, if it's going to, it will go through the cardstock. I just want to protect my grid paper from the ink if it goes through. All right, so I am using, this is dark Calypso Coral, and this base of this pull toy here, I'm going to color that. Again, this is dark Calypso Coral. And then for my wheels, I'm going to use light Bermuda Bay. These are colors that are in that designer series paper. Okay. And then I'm going to take my light Daffodil Delight and I'm going to color in the body of my lion. Okay, and then I'm also going to do his head part. I'm not going to do the mane. That I'm going to do with the dark Daffodil Delight and also dark Crumb Cake. Okay. All right, so then dark Daffodil Delight. Actually, let me bring in my dark Crumb Cake. I'll do this one first. So, on the top of his head, let's see. We're going to do right here. Two. I have my sample off to the side, so I'm looking at what areas I colored in. Let's see. Let's do one. Okay, so we got that. And then I'm going to bring in my dark Daffodil Delight. It's interesting with this marker, when I color with it, it actually looks like Mango Melody. It was a color that we had, it was like an orangey yellow, and they had discontinued that color, but it's really interesting that this dark daffodil kind of looks like that. I like Mango Melody. I wish they would bring that color back. I'm just filling in these other areas in his mane using that dark daffodil. Now that the face part is dry, I'm going to bring in my basic black Stampin' Right marker, and I'm just going to do kind of like a smile on here. I'm not going to do like, the whole fancy, type of mouth on them. I'm just going to do a simple little smile on them. Okay, so then I'm going to take this piece here and I'm going to take some dimensionals and we'll add 5 on here because we don't want it to sag. Okay, and then I'm going to add this right about there. And then on my little greeting piece here, I'm going to add some adhesive. And then this is going to go right about here. Okay, and one thing that I am going to do that I noticed that I missed doing, I'm going to bring in my light cloud cover, and I'm going to add some shadow right underneath these wheels. Okay, and then I'm going to take this whole piece here and I'm going to add my dimensionals to the back. Okay. Okay, let's bring in our card base, and I will center that like so. And then for my embellishment on this card, I'm going to keep it simple and do a Baker's Twine bow. So this is the Baker's Twine Essentials Pack. This is currently available in our annual catalog. I'm going to pull out the basic white, and I'm going to do a bow. Make our loops a little bit bigger. Okay. And then I'm going to do blue dots. Okay, and then I'm going to adhere that right here, and then let me get my scissors and try not stabbing myself. These things are sharp. And then I'm going to trim. And let's get this put back. And move stuff out of the way. And there is our first card. A very simple card. I like that the images are very simple themselves. So yeah, I really like how this one came out. Okay, so for my next card, let me pull out these pieces. And while I'm at it, I'm going to take a sip of my water. My mouth is getting a little dry. Okay, so for this card, I have a piece of basic white thick for my card base. It's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have a piece of that Ice Cream Corner Designer Series paper. This measures 5.5 by 4.25. I have 2 pieces of Balmy Blue. Each one of these measures 2.5 by 2.5. And then out of that same sized stylish shape die, I die cut 2 of the squares in basic white. And then I had stamped the greeting in basic gray ink on basic white cardstock, and then die cut it with another one of those banner dies that are in that stylish shape set of dies. Okay, so before I do anything on this card, what I want to do is I'm going to stamp my images first, so then that way they have had some time to dry before I start coloring. If the ink isn't fully dry, what'll happen when you go to color them, you'll start to have your ink kind of like bleed into it. So you want to have your images dry before you go and you color them. So on this one, I'm going to use the elephant. So put the elephant on there. And then we'll also use the giraffe. So just kind of get that lined up, like so. Okay, and then with these two, I'm going to stamp these in 2 different colored inks. So for my elephant, I am going to stamp him in basic gray. Okay, kind of line up my block. Okay, put that aside to dry. And again, I use the same color ink to stamp my greeting. And then on my other one, the one for the giraffe, I'm going to bring in soft suede ink. Okay. Oh, it did not. I hate when it does that. All right, so we're going to fix that. 1 second. I'm going to bring in my soft suede Stampin' Right marker, and I'll use my brush tip and kind of go over these lines that didn't stamp. So usually I would flip the paper over and stamp it on the other side. However, with these dies, they have the stitching around them. So there's a big noticeable difference between the front and the back. So can't really flip this one. I'm going to go over those lines. Okay. All right. Okay, and of course, soft suede is a retired color, so the marker 2 is no longer available. All right, so I'm done with this. All right, so let me go ahead and let me kind of assemble this card here. So I'm going to take my card base, fold and burnish that. then I'll also go ahead and I'll clean these stamps really quick. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my liquid glue, and I'm going to adhere this designer series paper down onto my card base. So this is going to cover the whole card front. And in this little bottle is the Tombow multi-purpose glue that we carry. This glue has a latex in it, so you don't need much of it to get it to stick really well. So I put it in there only because, again, you don't need too much. If you use too much, then what happens, your glue tends to like seep out from underneath. And when it does that, then you just have like a big sticky gluey mess. So okay, so we got that, and there's a little tiny bit of the paper that sticks off of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my guillotine paper trimmer, my little trimmer, and kind of line this up, and then just trim a little bit, and now it's nice and flush with the card base. Okay, now I'm going to take, let's see, I'll wait to put these pieces down, so I'll set that aside. I want to bring in my scrap paper again, and let me bring in my elephant. And for this one, I'm going to, again, bring in my cloud cover, and I'm going to add a little bit of a shadow underneath the wheels on these pull toys. Alright, so for my elephant, I'm going to bring in the dark and the light smoky slate, the dark calypso coral, and the dark balmy blue. So dark balmy blue I'm going to use on the wheels. And I'm going to do the same thing on my giraffe. Okay. And then my dark calypso coral for the base of the pull toy. Okay, and then I'm going to take my dark smoky slate, and I'm going to do like his inner leg here, and then we got another one right there, and then some shadow right there. And we'll kind of let that dry a little bit, and then I'll go over it with the light smoky slate. So then I'm going to bring in my giraffe, and on his nose, I'm going to use the light soft suede, and I'll do the inside of his ears. And then for the body, I'm going to do Dark Daffodil Delight. And these spots I'm going to go around, because those spots I'm going to color in using the dark soft suede Stampin' Blend. Okay, so I'll set that aside for a moment before I color in those spots. But yeah, I'll need my dark soft suede for that. So let me take my elephant here and color the rest of him in using the light smoky slate. Okay, so our elephant is done. Now let's take our dark soft suede and we'll do our spots on our giraffe. Okay, so there we go. Super, super cute. Super cute. Okay, so we're done with our coloring now. So let's go ahead and assemble our card. So I'm going to add some seal to the back of these two pieces. Okay, and then let's get our Balmy blue piece and center that like so. I got our elephant. Okay, and then let's get more seal on the back of these. So my images and my greeting, I'm just going to adhere that straight to the card base. I'm not going to pop anything up. So my giraffe, I'll place that right about here. Make sure that's straight before I start pressing it down. And then my elephant will go over here. Like so. And then my greeting. This will go, let's see, I want to make sure it's straight. That will go right about here. Not to help him that it's not sticking some. Let's see. Okay, that's straight. Okay, and for this one, my embellishment's going to be simple, just like the first one. I'm going to get my white baker's twine, and I'm going to create a bow, and we'll adhere that right into the middle of the card. Okay. All right, and then this will go right here in the middle, like so. And then get my scissors. And I'll trim that. And let me get all this stuff out of the way. And, oops, I missed a little spot right here. Okay, so there is the second card. Very, very cute. Let me bring in the first one. So our first one was this cute, adorable lion. And then we have our giraffe and we have our elephant. So there's the two projects using the Baby Pull Toys stamp set. If you like the projects that I made in this episode, please give the video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel and hit that little notification bell. It'll let you know when I post another video and also when I go live. I will be going live tomorrow night, Friday, September 26th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time right here on this channel. And I will be featuring the Autumn Toile Suite. This is a mega suite that is in our, what is it, July? No, September through December mini catalog. So it's a mega suite. It has like 2 stamp and die bundles in it. So carrying on the whole fall theme, I did Gathering Together Suite last Friday. So definitely in a fall mood. A couple of other things. In on my channel, there are lots and lots of videos. I would say there's probably with this video like 289 videos that I have been doing all the way back since September 23rd of 2023. So I just hit like my 2-year anniversary on doing YouTube content. So wow, it's been very busy, I would say, in those 2 years with doing video content. So I have lots of videos out there for you to check out. So again, if you like what you see, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It not only helps me in growing this channel, but it also helps me in building my Stampin' Up! Business. Um, Also, in the description of the video, if you would like, I do have a monthly newsletter that I do. I typically do that like on the first Tuesday of each month. That's when Stampin' Up! Lets us know about what the new kits would be, you know, anything that's kind of happening, anything that I would be doing. Plus, I also have in there my video schedule for the month, so you know in advance what product it is that I'm going to use for my Fridays and my Thursdays. So I also do a paper pumpkin unboxing, and then I assemble one of each of the projects that's in the kit. My paper pumpkin kit has been delivered about a week ago to the post office, and I'm just waiting for the post office to now let me go and pick it up because I haven't had the little slip in my box saying that I had something to pick up. So hopefully I'll be getting that pretty soon, because that particular kit, I believe it's called Fall for Twal, and that coordinates with the suite that I'm going to use tomorrow night. So I'd like to get that video done before the month is out. So hopefully I'll be getting that soon. So um, again, when I go to record that, if you hit the notification when I post it, then you'll know when that's out there. So if you would like to subscribe to my newsletter, there is a link below. When you click on that link, all you have to do is just put your first and last name along with your email address. And then when I do my newsletters, I will get it out to you. Now, I only do one, usually it's only one a month, but sometimes in the middle of the month, Stampin' Up! May come out with an offer or a promotion or something that we didn't know about ahead of time. So then that's the only time I would end up sending out another one. I don't send them out daily. I don't like to bombard anybody with a lot of email. So if you're interested in that, again, the link is below in the description. And also, if you're here in the US and you're not working with another demonstrator and you would like a paper copy of either our September through December holiday mini catalog or even our current annual catalog, my email too is also in the description. Just simply send me an email along with your full name and mailing address and let me know which catalogs you would like, and I'd be more than happy to send it out to you. So again, thank you so much everyone for joining me and watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, everyone, be safe and have a blessed one. Bye bye.